So the Kemper is different than a lot of other amp modelers because it's not really a modeler. It's what they call a profiler. Kemper says it can pretty much capture the exact sound of your amp, and it should sound just like it does when it's mic'd up. I'd really like to see how close it actually gets. Hey, what's up? It's Daniel. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into this, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below for more content like this, and leave a like. It really helps out the channel. So I've been making some high quality profiles of my amps to see if they really compare to the real deal. More often than not, I judge the amp modelers on their feel rather than their tone. Tone is important, but I actually think it's pretty easy to get a universally decent tone these days. But when they say tone is in the hands, that's really a feel thing. Feel makes you play dynamically, and it can add to your confidence level, and when the tone lends itself to an organic playing experience, the stars can align. It just works. But it's tough to get an accurate test of these kinds of things because really the reason that amp modelers sound so different to tube amp fans is because we are used to kind of acting like the microphone with our ears. Think about it. We hear the amp in the room being projected from the speakers. We don't really hear like a close mic'd amp that's been run through like studio processing, like preamps, compressors, or like a console. We're used to hearing an amp in the room. And unless you're making profiles with that Neumann head microphone, you're not going to get a similar experience. But wait a sec. Maybe there's a market for this. Oh, it's almost $9,000? Never mind. So I want to take a profile of my Tone King Imperial, but I want to test it in like 4 different ways. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take an impulse from my Universal Audio aux box, and then I'm going to mic the guitar amp with real mics as closely as the aux box is showing their kind of digital mic setup. Then I'm going to actually give you the camera mic just from my internal camera, just so that you can see how it sounds like in the room. That's not going to be the best sound, but these 3 are all going to be compared to a Kemper profile that I'll make right before the test. The amp has a 12-inch Celestion speaker, so we're going to use the aux box's 1x12 Black Deluxe impulse response. That speaker is virtually mic'd with a Shure SM57 and an AKG C414. So I'm going to mic this cabinet with a Shure SM57 and then a Neumann TLM103. I know the AKG and the Neumann are not the same, but they're both solid-state condenser microphones. The Kemper profile is going to be made with the aux box's response. So I really think the Kemper nails the sound of this amp. A lot of what I love in this amp is represented in the profile, and in my opinion, I think it sounds very much like the mic'd recordings. Again, one of the things I would look to try and improve that isn't represented here in the demo is the feel of the Kemper, because it's easy to start feeling like things get sterile. A tip that I actually learned from the Tone Junkie YouTube channel is that you can use a compressor to kind of affect the feel a little bit more, make it compress a little bit more like an amp. But with this experiment, I'm actually really getting excited by how well the Kemper understands amps. It's starting to make sense how it understands gain staging and how it reacts differently to humbuckers and single coils. And it seems to understand the amp's compression and release ratios and how tubes differ. I want to get back to profiling the rest of my amps, but thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.